Hey everyone, how are you? I hope you can. This is really exciting for us because we typically don't go live, and I think you know that. So I hope that you're happy to be here with us because we're happy to be here with you. Girlfriend, you know what you're supposed to do right now?
Hey everybody, I am Morgan Bustos, and I'm an EFT practitioner, a life coach, public speaker, and a huge advocate for victims of domestic violence. Today, we are so excited to be able to introduce something that has been Chatone's brainchild for quite some time. So I will let her go ahead and start doing that.
You know what's so funny? First of all, we totally don't go live, and there's a reason for that. And the biggest reason is because of technology and the fact that I live, I don't know, in the edge of the outer crust of the earth, and I
Mm.
don't have Wi-Fi. So it's difficult. And I love a good live stream. In fact, Morgan, hold on. Let me just make sure that we're actually live because it would be really sad if we weren't. So it looks like we are. Yep, it looks like we are. That's awesome. I'm going to check on YouTube. So we're live right now on YouTube and also on Facebook. And again, we haven't done this for months. We haven't gone live on these platforms in a really long time. We create loads and loads of content. We want to catch up with you today, make this announcement, let you know what we've got going on, but also want you to know how you can find us and how you can work with us because life is changing all the time. And I think that being in midlife, it really does lend itself to needing to kind of move with it. You know, we ain't trying to have no midlife crisis out here. Okay. We're trying to have midlife thriveness. That's not even a word. We're trying to thrive, right? And with all the things that happen, it's important that you have this kind of companion. So
Mm.
without further ado, Morgan, you chat amongst yourselves for a second. Let me check YouTube. I've always done this. For those of you who know me for a while, know that I am all about checking the second device to make sure it's actually happening. So I actually right now, Morgan, don't see us live on YouTube. I'm not sure why,
Hmm.
but we are live on Facebook. So we'll check it later. We'll see what's what. All right.
Okay.
So listen, here's what's up. You know, we've had this podcast for it'll be 2 years in October, 2 full years in October. Right, but we're in our third year. We have the Getting to After podcast. We have the Getting to After magazine, which is kind of our outreach to enable us to fund the Empowerment Essential Kids that were Morgan's brainchild, since using that word today, that were Morgan's idea about helping us to give back to women who are in transition, those who
Mm.
are living in shelters for that short period of time once they've left domestic violence, and helping us to give them that little piece of home.
Mm.
Morgan's and her kids, and also another client, talked about how much the children don't have things in those areas. Well, it's little things to keep them busy. So we have the empowerment essential. I get chills when I talk about it. The empowerment essential self care kits for the moms, but then we also have things for the kids as well. And so how we fund that is through you helping us. And so that's why we have the magazine. It's only $10. A new one's coming out probably late this week to beginning of next week. Super excited about the mid-year edition. Usually it's called summer, but it's
Yeah.
mid-year because of the topics that we're talking about. We're going to be talking about redefinition. And so in the midst of doing all of these things that we do, because we do lots of other things like, I don't know, Morgan, what are you in the middle of doing?
I, we do lots of other things, right?
What are you in the middle of doing? I'm sorry. You were planning something, right? You,
I was just looking at something real quick to make sure that we were on.
yeah,
Oh,
you.
that.
I'm not going to tell Braxton. Yeah, that. Look at you.
Okay, guys. So if you've been following along, back in May, I got engaged.
You know something like we got. You understand what's going on here? She
Wait,
got,
wait,
we
wait.
got stuff going on.
But wait, let me tell you the story behind this because this is important and it's quick and deep. It's quick and deep. So he got this ring for me, and I don't know if you can see, but it's written in Hebrew, and he had it made he had it made in Israel, and it's written in Hebrew, and it has says, "I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine." And the reason why I love that is because it's based on scripture, right? That's just who we are. But I'm excited. That's all I got. I'm excited. Planning,
Obviously,
planning a wedding, like that's why you
it's a
created
lot.
is so perfect
It's
right
a
now.
lot. It's a
So,
lot. It's
because
a lot.
there's all these different avenues of trying to figure out how to plan a wedding, and this is here in 2026 is different than way back in the day. So I'm really excited on so many different levels. for planning the wedding, but then also being able to have what you created to help assist me with this.
So, whenever we create something, whatever we do, most of you know that we are emotional freedom technique practitioners. I've been a life coach for almost 2 decades, about a decade and a half, I would say, certified. And one of the things that I know about just women in general, there's all these issues we have, but we keep going, we keep it moving. You have angst inside, but you keep it moving. Stuff's going on that you don't want to go on, and you keep it moving. That's what we do until we can't. And then problems start happening in midlife. You start going through perimenopause, menopause, all these health issues happen, inflammation, sicknesses, inflammatory diseases, whatever's going on. And we're not doctors. We can't cure that. But what we can do is we can be those companions for you during those dark moments, during those times where you would love to have a true virtual hug. It really goes back to the reason why years ago when I created the Sunday Corner, I knew what I needed, but it wasn't available. Someone that was going to be present for me on a Sunday when I was feeling like throwing up over my garbage can because I had to go back to corporate the next day. And I became that. I created something for women so they had that place. And the Getting to After podcast was born out of women's silence, kind of coming out of domestic violence, because that was, of course, your experience. And then we realized, oh no, we have a lot of other things to say too, so it's not just about TV, it's about lots of stuff. And so we've been doing that, and that's how the magazine works. So you can see like there's this trickle down. It kind of started with these things that always come to my mind. And then I get this amazing, delicious partner, Morgan, to do these things with me. And she's always willing to do all the crazy creative middle of the night things. We will be on like FaceTime at 2 a.m. I'm like, yo, you up? Look at what I just created. Like, that's how we live. So I don't know. My husband goes to bed early. I don't know what's going to happen when you're married. You just have to keep your phone on silent and keep it next to you.
Under the covers.
We're not going to stop. We're not going to stop. So with all that being said, we've been doing emotional freedom technique, grounding, breathing exercises and things as a part of our podcast for 2 years, almost 2 years. But I've always wanted to do something different, something that I did when I was in corporate, when, for my teams a lot of times did not get a lot of support. I couldn't always give them the money. I couldn't always be there because I lived in one state, lived someplace else. And so I would leave these messages for them. And this during a time, this is before Zoom, before all these platforms, like people weren't doing this for real. Like I was doing different stuff. I was very, very odd in corporate because of like, what are you doing, Chitone? Whatever I feel like doing, because I knew people needed support.
Yeah.
But that thing stayed with me, this desire to kind of do audio message or light video. And that's why I've always kind of done that. I'm very comfortable. You put a camera in front of me, I'm like, yay, I'm here. I'm so happy. I'm very comfortable. And so about 6 months ago, I would say, it just started burning in me that I needed to create this. I needed to create something else other than just the podcast. We did last summer Fat and Happy Tuesdays, where we did tapping and just basically grounding and tapping. But I wanted to give something that made it very easy for women to kind of hold it with them. And I didn't want to create an app. I don't want to go that hard. I've got a busy life. I'm a full-time minister. I got stuff going on. So I decided, I said, Morgan, are you game? Will you do this thing with me? And she said, yes. And so that's what gave birth to today, launching this morning, the Getting to After Companion Collection. And for now, for starters, it's a collection of 12 micro videos. I know other people think a micro video is 2 minutes. A micro video for me is 15 minutes. Okay. 15 minutes. That's micro in my world.
Micro is different for everyone.
It's different for everyone. And that's what it is. So it's the companion collection. What this basically does, I gotta take care of that cough. Thank you for those hearts. What this collection does is it allows you to kind of take us with you. It allows you, if you're waking up on that morning, you're just feeling blah, you have someplace to go, and there will be a large collection as we go. We're not going to teach. We're not going to coach on there. You're not going to hear us banter like you're hearing us now. I know you love it.
Love it.
But you're not going to hear that. You're not going to hear that. We're going to get right into the nitty gritty. So the very first one dropped today. It's for when the day asks too much of me. They're going to be in the first person so that when you're listening to them, you can really kind of get into the content, what it does for you yourself. There's going to be a quick visualization so that you can kind of like burst through the barriers of whatever that negativity that you're having right then. There's going to be, of course, Morgan doing this. She's so good at it. Somatic breathing and grounding. She's so good. And then we're going to do a tapping together and we're out. But the
Mhm.
collection right now is going to reside on YouTube. We're also going to be putting it on our website as well. And for now, it's free. So if I were you, I don't know more. I mean, if I were them, I would make sure that not only do I grab it, but I also tell a friend because you just never know. You
Well,
just
and
never.
you don't know who it can help.
That's
You know,
right.
like if you're going through that something right this second, then you know everybody else in your family or your friends are, having different things happen to them too. So share it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to make sure you have it, that you know about it. You can get it right on YouTube on our regular channel, Getting to After. It's its own playlist. I'm going to be dropping maybe one or two more. They will come out every Tuesday for the next few weeks. There's going to be 12 in all. Say we dropped our first one at 8 a.m. We'll be dropping one every Tuesday at 8 a.m. But another one will drop when we're done with this live, and then the playlist will be live as well.
Mhm.
I told Morgan that I would answer questions for her,
Oh,
just very scary to me because I don't know what she's going to ask me. But, again, this is one of these things where sometimes I'm a high creative and sometimes you create things and it's just what you do. Like I'm always creating stuff. I draw as well. I don't talk about that. I cook and stuff. Like I don't talk about that. I sew, but what I do with words and what I do with Morgan is just very special because I know that it's changed her. It's changed me as well. Um, Even our kids, even though mostly we do this for midlife women, our kids have been
oh
looking
my
at
goodness.
this. Yeah.
Yes. This morning. So my youngest daughter was standing outside my door getting ready for work. And I had the podcast up, the getting the new series that we just came up with. So the companion collection. And I can hear her coming down the stairs and I see her shadow. So I know she's like standing right there. And then about 5 minutes into it, like I hear like closer to the door, right? And then all of a sudden I hear tap, tap, tap. And she goes, Mom, what is this? And I said, Mamita, this is the collection that Chaton just created, the companion collection. She says, Mom, this is really good. She said, I love how you have both you and Auntie at the same time. Your voice is going back and forth in this. She's like, I've never heard anything like this. But she goes, Can you send it to me?
Wow.
Yes, yes, I can. So when a 17-year-old asks you to help her with her nervous
Nervous system. I mean, come on. Our nervous systems are on high alert all the time. And, Morgan, for me, because I live here in Maryland and I'm constantly going to DC and Virginia, there are
system.
days where I'm just on that train and it brings me back to being in New York, traveling, so, every single day going and commuting into Manhattan. And, I didn't have this kind of thing. We were a podcast, but it was just a little bit different.
Mhm.
I had to, if I wanted something like this, I was constantly that girl with DVDs or CDs on the little player and stuff like that. But now it's so easy. I just pop in some headphones and to be listening to something that's calming as opposed to what's blaring over, people's music because they don't want to have headphones or, someone screaming, next stop, Journal Square, whatever. It's such a wonderful calm, whether you're using it in the morning or the evening. And
Mhm.
so I just really hope that you guys love it. I hope that you share it. It really is something that is bringing me so much joy because I've wanted to do it for so long.
Well, and even in the evenings before you go to bed, to be able to put it on and listen to it, to just kind of settle you down, get you ready for sleep. You can do it at any point in time, no matter where you're at. Like Chaton said, that's what's beautiful about this. Like just pop it in and boom, it's right there. And it is specifically designed so that when you're in that moment, whatever you're feeling and whatever you're going through, boom, just scroll through, find the one that you're dealing with right then and there, put it on and listen to it, and then watch yourself and your body, like just instantly
Yeah,
start
yeah,
to decompress. It's
yeah,
absolutely beautiful. I love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Are you ready for the first question?
All right, Morgan.
Okay,
Well,
now I want you all to know, like on the podcast, I don't know if you guys have watched the podcast, but she comes up with some stuff random, just random things out there. And I just have to like shift and pivot and go with it and be like, yeah, I'm
oh,
game.
stop. I'm so nice to you. Stop it.
So these questions were very strategic. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You already answered one of them, so I'll skip to the next one.
Okay.
Okay. So many women wait until they have time to heal. Wait. So many women wait until they have time to heal. What made you want to create something that's designed to meet a woman in the middle of her real life instead of asking her to step away from it?
Yeah, because we don't step away.
Mm.
And by the time we step away, so many times it's stepping away with burnout. It's stepping away with a breakdown. It's stepping away and needing, to quit our job or start over or literally at the breaking point. And I think, we may still get there. You may still reach the breaking point. You may still reach burnout. But what if you didn't? What if
Mhm.
you committed to these small pockets of time instead? What if you knew that you were important enough to, and not just important enough, because I think that every woman knows that, but what if you knew that not only were you important enough, but it was vital enough for you to
Mm.
take a moment away from everybody else? We're
Mhm.
talking about 15 minutes. Now we show up in the podcast. Many times it's an hour. Many times people take some 2, 3 days to listen to it. By the
Yeah.
time you get to the part where we're gonna settle the nervous system, well, now it's 4 days have gone by. That's what people
Mm.
tell me. They say, no, I didn't get to the end of that one yet, but I'm keep listening. We're like, we
Mhm.
gotta compress this so that we can get in and get out and get your nervous system settled. So that's basically the reason why.
That's that's beautiful. And that's the truth. We don't tend to take care of ourselves as women and mothers. It's always everybody else, and then we worry about ourselves last. But it's kind of like we always use that illustration of when you're on the airplane and the mask drops down, how you have to put yours on first before you can take care of anybody else. So whether you're in the bathroom, if you're in the taking a shower, if you're driving in the car, making dinner, just pop something in, or even schedule 15 minutes for yourself.
Yeah.
Put it on your phone, like, have it in your reminders to just step away, scroll through the library, through the collection, and just check it out and see what can help you right here, right now. It's definitely beneficial for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. So, when a woman presses play on one of these companion collections because she's overwhelmed, anxious, heartbroken, or simply exhausted, what do you hope she feels 15 minutes later?
I think I really can't answer that because I don't want to project. But what I
Mhm.
think will happen, what I believe will happen is that first there's the content. The content's great, the visuals are great, it's very calming. You're not going to feel spoken at. And in fact, it really is to speak directly to the nervous system. People don't realize that you
Mm.
can talk to your brain, you can talk to your belly, you can talk to
Yeah.
your body, you can talk to your nervous system. And that's what we're striving to do. But the second thing is that when you give yourself that time, that's another message to
Mm.
yourself of your worth.
Yeah.
When we don't give ourselves the time, it's also a message. So, if nothing else, I think as you build toward not just self care, because it's such a cliche, but really soul care, when you start building toward that, I'm really excited about your body and your mind, your psyche responding to that with, oh yeah, I am worthy. And that's subliminal, that's subconscious. It starts to um, work itself into your responses. It starts to work itself the way you eat, the way you move through life, the way, oh, I like listening to this when I walk. So I'm going to take that quick walk. I'm going to give you a quick thought right here is that when I was in corporate, I know people do it now, okay, especially after the pandemic and everything, but I was doing it a long time ago. I started it. I started the walking meeting in a parking lot. Anyone who used to work for me, if you happen to listen to this lot, you know it was true. You know we were out there in that parking lot in Menlo Park, next to the Menlo Park Mall, walking the parking lot doing a meeting.
Huh.
Someone was taking notes on a legal pad.
Wait,
Okay?
everybody was together?
My team, we were having meetings. Guess what? In the heat, the meetings were short. Nobody was talking about nothing dumb, okay? Because they wanted to get back inside. All right. Walking meetings. These kind of moments teach you that I'm worth taking that little walk. I can
Mm.
increase my steps. I can, and I think that to me is what I'm so passionate about is what can change for someone when they make a change because
Mm.
it is a chain reaction. Change is a chain reaction. And I think that just by giving yourself these little, you said, get very excited. Um, the other things can change because you change one thing.
That was absolutely brilliant to take them out of the building too, because it gives them something different to focus on. It removes them from whatever situation they were dealing with in there. And being out in the fresh air, and then actively walking, all of that together was stimulating their brain and calming down their nervous system without them even realizing it.
And that's way before I knew about all this stuff, but it did that. It's been inside of me for a really long time. This before I went to coaching school, all that's a long time ago. It just made sense. And also because I had a team that many times were, lower ends, jobs or whatever, that they were oppressed because people didn't treat them very well and they needed to get it out of their system, but they didn't feel safe to do it in the building.
Yeah.
So now we're in the end of the parking lot by the ducks and the little pond or whatever. Speak your mind. We're outside of the office. Tell me what's really going on so that I can go bully whoever I need to bully to fix it, because I was that girl. And so it helped us also to have that, it helped them to feel free, to have that independence and to be able to speak up.
Well, to give them a voice.
Yeah.
Which gets taken away from us so much.
My thing.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. So there's countless podcasts, meditations, and self-help resources available today. What makes the Companion Collection different? And what do you believe when women have been needing something like, and why do you believe women have been needing something like this?
Yeah, so I will never discount it. And I just want real quick, I saw some comments. People have been on, so I want to shout everybody out. Timmy and Jaretta. Hey, Jaretta. And Kylena. Hello there. Hello there. Thanks for being here. I never want to discount anybody else's work. I believe that there's something for everyone, and I believe that every pot has a lid. So, I'm all into all the modalities. I do think sometimes, and I'm going to try and keep this as PC as possible, that it's really nice when it's a woman who looks like you, who sounds like you. I love our interaction, Morgan. I'm older than you are. I've had different experiences. We're still mothering, but like you're at the kind of tail end. I've graduated my kids. You know what I mean? I think that for everything to be the same, I think it's not enough. And so I love the idea that this particular thing that we're doing is different. It's different because we're, two women of color. I think we have different experiences that we're going to carry with us. And I think that even though, this is not about, trying to be, about, oh, this is about Blackness or, having mixed ethnicity. I think it has to do with the fact that we carry that inside of us. And so that comes out. And I think it's really beautiful. And I believe what we have to say is going to be different than what someone else is saying. But I would never, and look, if you don't like us, go find something. It doesn't have to be us. I'm cool with that. But just don't ignore your nervous system anymore. You're like, I don't like that girl, right? Good. I'm fine with that. Then I'm not for you. I'm cool with that. But go find something. I don't know. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, totally did. Totally did. Because that's why there's so many different restaurants. Everybody likes something different. So many different colors on the color palette. Everybody enjoys and needs something different. So as long as you're taking care of yourself, that's all we care about, is making sure that you're supported and loved and cared for. So throughout this whole experience while you're taking care of yourself. So thank you for answering.
And if you just happen to be, tuning in, just remember too, what we're talking about is this brand new collection called the Companion Collection. And I don't know if you're going to ask me this, but the reason why it's called Companion is because, Morgan and I have always talked about standing beside a woman and that she's not by herself. When I created the Sunday Corner back in, I think I created that in 2015 or 2016, the whole entire goal was so that you didn't feel alone, right? I used to talk about refreshing, rejuvenating, resetting yourself for the week ahead. And then I always ended with, be authentic, be brilliant, be the catalyst, because I believe that there's a lot of things that a woman can do. There's a lot of things you can change, a lot of things you can affect, but not if you're standing in your closet in tears because you don't like your body, or not if you feel like you don't have a voice at work because you're not getting respected, or not if so many things. And so I believe that it's not all just in the empowerment movement. It really is about this thing starting as an inside job. And that's what this is going to do too. But this is really just to imagine your nervous system being so hungry. It's just so hungry. It's like, imagine not feeding your nervous system for like a decade. and it's starving. What would you feel like if you weren't eating for a decade? Look, Morgan, you know that I'm doing intermittent fasting, and by the end of my fast, which is about in 15 minutes, girlfriend gets hungry after 19 hours of not eating. You know, imagine a nervous system. And so this is really to engage your nervous system and feed it with something that you can carry with you.
Just giving you those snack size bites for your
Yes.
nervous system. I
Yeah.
love it. I absolutely love it. I have one more question.
I reserve the right not to answer this because I can look at your face and know that I probably don't want to answer, but go ahead.
Did you see how judgmental that was? Oh my goodness.
Yes. Let me tap through it. What? Go ahead.
Hold on.
I know she's overcoming a cold and everything, and she still decided to go live with me. Thank you, love.
Oh my goodness. This cold has been crazy too. This is going
Yeah.
on 2 weeks. I'm just glad I have my voice back because I didn't even have that. So it's
I
perfect.
need you to get better. You know, y'all, this is a side note. I'm going down there. We're going to go look for wedding dresses. And I need you to be getting me sick. Okay. I need all of this. I need my voice. Okay, go.
Okay. So if women begin reaching for the companion collections over and over again during life's hardest moments, how do you hope they'll begin to see themselves differently a year from now?
Yeah. So I think I answered that already a little bit, but I'll add to it that worth increases, that their voice increases, that
Mm,
their internal self-talk changes, morphs, and gets better. I like to think of things on a scale. And if you were to measure your own inner self-talk, really measure it on a scale of 1 to 10 right now and be honest. I mean, is it a 2?
mm,
Is it a 2? So many women, it's a 2. Oh, no, no, not me, not me. No, that's the bravado that you use at work. I'm talking about the inner self-talk. What's it look like? I believe that when you start listening to the visualizations, I spend so much time writing these. When you start looking at the visualizations, I try to think about the composite client that I've worked with all these years. What have I been told? What has she told me? And put all of that in that visualization in a 3-minute visualization for you to see, where do I fit in that? And then as you're listening to these, as we go through different um, groupings of these companions, the goal would be that in a year from now, you are more reluctant to allow yourself to talk negatively about
mm.
yourself because nobody knows it. Remember, Morgan, a couple weeks ago, we talked about what would happen if your self-talk was on a megaphone.
I was just going to say that. It would be terrifying.
That's disastrous, diabolical. Okay.
Yes.
Right? What if it changed from disastrous and diabolical to dynamic and determined? What if it changed like that? I may not even know that that's happening, but if it happens, let us know because a lot of work has gone into this during a time when ain't no time. Okay, working on the magazine, I'm working on a book. Morgan is just starting to dip her toe into wedding planning, and there's a book on the side that we're brewing with. Like we got a lot of projects,
Yeah.
but this was so important to me not to allow this another season to go by without launching this. So yeah, Morgan, I mean, I think that's what would make me super excited that even if I don't know because they haven't told me, I'm going to feel that
Yeah.
because it makes me feel that way.
Along with that, when these do work for you, please jump in and let us know. Make comments on the podcast or on the collection, or even email us directly and let us know if there's something specific that you would like Chatonne to create, a tapping around, a breathing and grounding, for the companion collection, because we want to make sure that it's perfect just for you, for every single one of you. And we know everybody's different, so you are going to need something a little bit different or just tweaked a little bit for you right then in that moment. So we're always willing to hear what you have to say. So we invite that. Come on.
Yes. And let me just put our website up. If you've never been out to our website, we're in the process of doing some updates on there. I don't get a lot of time to work on the website, but you can get in contact with us there. All of our missions there, things we're working on, how you can donate to help women who are in transition with domestic violence, how you can fund an empowerment essential kit, get our latest magazine. The latest one up there is spring. Summer is on its way, really mid-year is on its way. And how to work with us personally. I'm going to put that link up as well. Hopefully you can see it. the bit.ly/chat-tap. If you want a single session with us, if you want to do a coaching session with me, a confidence coaching session, you want me to get into your core energy where whew, we blow out the water. Why are you really the way that you are, right? We can do that. And working with Morgan, because especially not just if you've been a survivor of domestic violence, she's amazing for that. But Morgan, I just want to put it out here that your gifting really is around seeing people. And a lot of that is from your training, but a lot of that is from being unseen. And I think that when a coach has lived through something, not just training, not just education, but when you live through something, it makes you a better coach because you have more empathy. And one thing I have to say is shout out to all the coaches with empathy, because there's a lot of coaches out here that don't have any.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just had to say it. I'm always going to tell you the truth.
Oh, and then don't forget about our tapping circles that we have coming up.
Yes.
So being able to be a part of that too. So we have our group sessions that you can join also.
So you can always get in contact with us. These particular, I'm going to drop another one. The one that we dropped this morning was a Morgan. Yes, when the day
asked too much of you.
Asked too much of you, right? And I think on any given Tuesday, for a midlife woman, the day is asking too much. So you're going to want to go back and listen to that one. So that one dropped this morning. The one that I'm going to drop right after this live, it was hard for Morgan and I even to get through it. But the one that I'm going to drop is on when you need to feel more comfortable in your body. And so I just want to say that if you missed the Body Confidence collection of, or the Body Confidence series that we did in June, we have 4 episodes. It is its own playlist. Come out to our little home on YouTube, because Getting to After podcast home, we have lots of playlists that already have exactly what you need to listen to. So we have things, of course, on overcoming silence on domestic violence. We have things on increasing your joy that are basically based on my book, Fat and Happy. We have things on body confidence. We have things on the family. We did a series last year. Can you believe I remember all this, Morgan? I know. It's all up here, girl. We did a series last year on when love hurts, and the fact that love shouldn't hurt. It wasn't just about domestic violence. It was all those places where, if you're a caretaker, if you're a caregiver, if you are in a family that withholds love, and you may feel the need to block them, or you need to silence their negativity. What does that do for a person if you've grown up through trauma? And then we also, of course, have tapping galore, all up in the website, all up in YouTube. Okay. So,
and Spotify and Apple too. So don't forget to join us.
This one, I'm not dropping. This is going to be on YouTube only. I'm not dropping. Yeah, I'm not for now. I'm not dropping the companion collection over there. You got to come to YouTube to grab it. You got to come to YouTube, not dropping it over there. And I might in the future, but for now, it's going to reside in one place here, and it'll reside on our website later on too.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right, Morgan. Thank you for being game, for being willing to jump out and do crazy things with me. Anyone who knows me knows I don't know if I love anything more than a live stream. A live stream to me is amazing. And it's so funny because to have given birth to these kids that I have that knew nothing about who I was as a little girl. As a little girl, I literally carried a tape recorder with me everywhere I went. And so even though you didn't ask, Morgan, everywhere I went, little red Panasonic, or maybe with Sanyo, like the little tiny, you don't know about that. This old school. This is the stuff you got at Radio Shack, okay? The teeny little red, but it was red. And you stuck the little tape cassette. And in fact, when I was in high school, I think I was in 10th grade, I was inducted into the National French Honor Society. So, I spoke French really well, and I performed in French and all this kind of stuff. And so I was inducted into the National Honor Society for French. My dad, this big ceremony and everything, and my dad bought me my first boombox. And, it wasn't big because I didn't want a big one. He got me a small boombox. But the thing that I reveled in was he bought me a crate of blank cassette tapes. I spent my life. See, people don't know. I'm not new to this. I am true to this life. Okay. I used to make recordings every single day. Every day. I would save up my little allowance to buy cassette tapes and batteries for all these recorders. I was that girl with that micro cassette. When I got the micro cassettes, the teeny ones, then when I was able to get an MP3 by itself, then they put a recorder app on my phone. I have been recording for like, you hear my dog, he's going crazy. Must be Amazon probably. And I've been doing this, but because to me, to be able to listen back is so life changing. And so I have always done this. I mean,
Mm.
we're talking 7, 8 years old, recording stuff, interviewing people, putting on little plays. I've always been her.
Do you still have any of them?
I don't have any from way back in the day, no, because those things got, the tapes got gummy and stuff like that. I was that girl record off the radio. What?
Oh, would you know how to play and record at the same time?
No, well, my boombox recorded. It recorded off the radio. I just had to record it. Was on tech. Daddy gave me a good one. Oh yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and then so that was just part of my life, but also recording moments and just everything. I've gotten rid of most things, but that's why my phone has 80,000 videos in it. Why I always have to get the best of the best phone, because there's going to be a moment. If you ask me for the moment, I can find it. I
Yep.
got it. I got it. So we're not asking you guys to have to do any of that. I'm super excited because this is my gift. It's natural inside of me. And to be able to give it to other women, especially, so that they can go through their day feeling even inches better, it just brings me so much joy.
And then being able to hear your voice and then my voice, and being able to have that surround sound feeling of that
Yeah, put your headphones in.
like that
Turn
hug,
it up. Yes.
right? Having that person right there next to you, but also knowing there's just such a presence with it. There is such a beautiful feeling that comes with listening to this. You guys are going to love this. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it. So
that's it. We're out. It launched today. By the end of this week, we should have 3 experiences up. That's what we're calling them. They're actually experiences. And the first 3 are really things that we've talked to so many clients about, so many women about, so many of you have given us comments about these things. So that's why we chose these first 3. And then we're going to grow from there. So we love you, love you, love you. Thank you for tuning in. If you happen to watch this later on, thank you for your support. Look out for the mid-year edition of the Getting to After magazine, because it's about to be hot on the presses, even though it's e-zine. Okay, electronic presses. It's about to be done, and we're thrilled about it. We love you so much. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.